What up, everyone? How you doing? Welcome to Ducks Y. I'm gonna copy a link. I'll pin this in the chat. I got all kinds of crap tabs and browser stuff open right now. I'm just gonna minimize out some of this stuff and yeah, share the link around. Feel free to say what's up in chat, you guys. If you guys get here and stuff. Okay. I don't know if anybody wants to do debates or discussions, but I did pin up a freaking what's it called? Yeah, I pinned up a link in chat. So we got a link and stuff. We also have Trump book. I don't know if anyone wants to debate Trump Epstein stuff or talk about that still. I don't know. I thought it was over, folks. I thought we were mostly done. Bernie Sanders did an awesome video. Maybe we can pull that one up later. If you guys want to watch Bernie Sanders, that was a very, very funny. He had a very funny response. Also very serious about the Epstein stuff. Yeah. Basically, he was talking about how, yeah, Donald Trump, you already said you were going to release these Epstein files, and in good faith, to credit to you, we already said that, if you want to release the files, go ahead and do that. It's not that big of a deal. So it goes, folks. So it goes. But yeah, it sounds a lot better when Bernie delivers. That's one of those funny things. It's always really difficult to sort of like replicate or mimic like a senator or something. It's like, yeah, I can try do my best performative Bernie Sanders. Donald Trump, you said you would release the Epstein files. I don't know why we're talking about it, but apparently we are. And so please release the Epstein files. You've told the American people multiple times that we will do this. Yeah, he didn't sound quite like that, but oh, thanks. Yeah, appreciate it. Cool. You will go places one day. Basketball subs, what's up? Yeah, if you like sticking around, if you want to subscribe, most of the stuff we do on the channel is regarding politics and philosophy. We don't always do these sort of like open debate shows. But yeah, hopefully we're facilitating some good conversations and stuff here. Not just the facilitation, but we're actually thinking about it, executing. We're bringing that sort of spirit of execution and stuff. So cool. I appreciate you quite a bit. And yeah, everyone else just tuning in chat. Good to see you. Feel free to say what's up. I'm going to go send this link out to a couple Discords. So I'll still be here, but I will also sort of be right back. And then if you guys want, we can either do Trump book or I can read some news. If someone decides they want to jump up on stage, if you want to have a discussion, if you want to debate something, feel free. And yeah, but yeah, when we do Trump book, the sort of like my rule, my one rule is like, yeah, we're going to read through what Donald Trump says, maybe talk about even why Donald Trump, as someone who's running for president, when he wrote "Great Again," why he says it. But I also want to bring in some of the geopolitical context. I want to talk a little bit about America's national character, our national identity, national interest. If you guys want to argue with me about nationalism or you think it's an interesting conversation, let me know. And yeah, whatever. This is my second stream of the day, so I don't know. I just kind of impulsively hopped on. Yeah, all of a sudden they expect Trump to keep his word. Yeah, Donald Trump has said a lot of things. And the way in which he says them is unapologetically. It's New York. It's big money. It's showtime, and some of the stuff I think he believes in the thing itself. The other stuff, you know, I'm not going to break down his psychology. I'm just not going to vote for the guy. You know, most times, 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, I'll be like, Mr. President, what are you doing? And yeah, always a little bit sketchy, folks. Always a little bit sketchy. All right, I got to go send this link out. I'm very slow. I bought a little Chromebook for streaming, and as I'm getting comfortable with the Chromebook setup, it's a great little PC thing. Yeah, I got it for a great price, and yeah, you know, it's just, you know, certain little things like, you know, if a browser tab, especially something like Discord in browser, doesn't load right away, a lot of those big data things, it's like, okay, cool, I can't, you know, like on stream we can't talk about that stuff, I can't use it, you know, not that big of a deal. But so we all know. Let's see if YouTube will. Hell yeah. All right. I should have just titled this like Duck's Very Selfish Stream or something like that. I don't know. I do want to do more Trump book personally. I do want to read some news. I also want to hear you guys debate stuff, hear you guys smash some stuff. But, you know, the best and worst of my all my boomer doomer stuff is I was told by a Twitch IRL streamer that, you know, some of this sort of content style is doomer. I don't know if that's true. Okay, basketball subs. Yeah, sorry. I just responding really late, but good to see you. Ozzy Osbourne, man. Yeah, I was being a degen. I had to walk up to go get a new smoke thingy today, and they were listening to Ozzy Osbourne radio. So there's Pantera on. Ozzy's with Dimebag Darrell, all those guys. I don't know if anyone watched his old reality show or whatever it was, but yeah, for sure. Rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? I'm just gonna very degen complete whatever task I'm attempting to semi-complete right now. We'll see how it goes. See how it goes, folks. All right. Do. Okay. Oh, some of my friends are online on Discord. Always sad to see. I'd rather be here anyways, folks. I can guarantee that. But, cool. Are you playing a game? I am not gaming, my friend. Yeah. I don't know what I could actually run on my Chromebook and still get it up to Restream. Hey, Freshly Wild. Yeah, Theo from the Crosby. That's sad. Didn't he drown or something? Um, that was a show I watched a ton of. I watched a ton of the Cosby Show back in the day. Um, let's see. Yeah, Malcolm Jamal Warner. He died yesterday at 54. Two of the greats. Two of the greats. Let's see. Let's see. Here you guys go. So here's Malcolm Jamal Warner. Yeah, he was 54. So Warner was swimming at Playa Grande near the town of Cahuita in the province of Limon on the Caribbean coast around 2:30 p.m. local time when a current pulled him deeper into the ocean, according to Associated Press. Costa Rica's Judicial Investigative Police told CNN on Monday people who were on the beach tried to help Warner, but he was declared dead by the Red Cross. Another man is in critical condition after being pulled into the current with Warner, authorities said. On Tuesday, the Judicial Investigation Police said an autopsy of Warner had been completed with a manner of death classified as accidental and the cause as asphyxia by submersion or drowning. Warner's body will be released as a funeral service selected by his family. CNN has reached out to representatives for Warner for further information. A native of New Jersey, Warner started acting at age 9, making appearances in shows like Fame. He was a young teen who was cast as the only son of Bill Cosby and Felicia Rashad's character, Heathcliff, Claire Huxtable, in The Cosby Show, which ran from 1984 to 1992. In an interview with CNN affiliate WPVI Monday, Cosby recalled his on-screen son's dedication to his craft. You could depend on Malcolm always to learn his lines, to gather his character, to come out and be ready, Cosby said. Cosby told WPVI he was gutted by the shocking news of Warner's death, adding, "Of course, my thoughts went straight to his mother, who worked so hard. She was wonderful with him." Warner often spoke about legacy in the popular Emmy-winning sitcoms with pride. The fact that The Cosby Show for Black America and White America finally legitimized the Black middle class. Oh my God, yes, right? Oh my God, yes. My parents had never. I'm gonna come back to the screen real quick. My parents had never seen anything. Hey, what's up, deliberating dog-faced dudes? Hey, what's up, Sausage the Non-Doth Tripothi? Good to see you. Yeah, I still have Trump Book here. Trump Book is still here. If you guys want to read more Trump Book, but yeah, I don't currently work. That's just kind of how it is in the US. It's hard to get a job for some people in your industry. For others, it's definitely not. And so, yeah, I've taken up to Discord, which isn't paid. I've taken up to YouTube, which technically isn't paid. And yeah, we'll see how all that goes. Hey, greetings from Oregon State. What's up, Eric Flores? Does that mean you're in the state of Florida, or does that mean that you're at Oregon State? We got some of the distance runners, the Oregon track team, the Oregon athletics squad, Oregon football in the house, folks. Let's go, the Ducks. Let's go. No, but my parents didn't see anybody, yeah, I don't even know. In Living Color was the show in the 80s. Maybe it started to become normalized that you would have black contestants on The Price is Right, or you would have episodes of mainstream shows with a black character. But to have, The Cosby Show in some sense was groundbreaking. In the sense that, Yeah, for what it's worth, right? Those types of television shows don't change. They don't change how people think and work and do business, but it's still the aesthetic representation's cool. It gives people permission to perhaps try to do things that they actually wanted to try. Um, and not to sound like Donald Trump, but on both sides, right? On both sides, when people say maybe there's not many that big problems with racial integration, and we have to be able to solve this for sure. I don't know. I don't actually know that much. So long distance runners go the distance. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Who was it? I couldn't think of his name. Cooper Teare. Wasn't Cooper Teare? I can show you this guy. Um, this dude's a freaking legend already. He's young. He's like, I feel bad because he's like way younger than me, but he's already like, yeah, he's already, yeah, this handsome lad, Oregon Ducks. I don't know if that's the same Oregon, but I think he's been to the Olympics. And Cole Hawker, his teammate, they're also both good runners. Yeah, that's like a weirdly sized leg. I don't know if that's like a normal human sized leg, but for a guy that probably weighs a buck 25, whatever he weighs a buck 15. Okay, do you understand what I mean when I say that? I'm a runner. I'm a little athletic. Not really, not like this, but this guy probably weighs a buck 25. Even if you could tell his leg from the other guy's leg, that's a big leg right there for a guy that weighs a buck 25. But he's a miler. I believe his teammate Cole Hawker trained for more distance. Did this zoom in when I zoomed it? No, it's not changing. Oh crap. Okay. Well, is anything changing? Is anything okay in the world? Yeah, this is what I was trying to show you, that it wasn't big beefy Cooper Teare leg. It's him and his buddy's leg. Whatever. I'm not trying to be weird about it, right? Right? Do you guys know that? Yeah. I don't know. I'm not going to look at like another athlete's body and be like, "Oh, what's up? We got Marcus Allen. Oh shoot, we do got the football squad here." We just had a guest join, folks. I'm going to go ahead and stop screen sharing. Let me see if we can Marcus Allen. Hold on. How you doing? Can you hear me okay?
I hear you. Do you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Excellent. It's been a while. I think I've seen you on some panels before.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Cool. I didn't know you had a channel. You got recommended in my YouTube recommendations. Saw that you were live. Oh. Checked it out.
Nice.
You're doing a vertical? Got you on my phone here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still trying to work through some of that stuff. Right now it's awesome. Mobile stream's cool. I can go live on my smartphone. I can, and yeah, just, whatever. All people want to kind of talk about the same stuff, in some sense. But I'd like to do more, at some point, more either panels or something on like the PC format. But with like 600 subscribers, maybe it might be worth it to have 2 or 3 people there. But I'm just not sure about a lot of that stuff that I'm going to be spending my own time on and stuff like that.
Are you into hosting or debating yourself?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind hosting. I could moderate for sure.
Okay.
I could moderate for sure. I think I got a lot going for me. But no. Yeah.
Chat's debating the beards.
Yeah.
Show them on off a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I can get way in close to the camera too. That is a very nice beard. You actually look like you take care of yours. I get called homeless Jesus all day. I don't think I could do the same for you.
Interesting, because I've been accused of looking like Jesus as well.
There's worse things. Worse things, I suppose.
Are you a Christian?
I am not.
Okay.
I'm a former Roman Catholic. I try to be on my own channel and stuff. If I'm not debating, I try to be pretty nice about
Mhm.
like. But yeah. What about you?
I went to a private Christian college for a while, and now I went to broadcasting school, television, film, biblical studies, and now I'm just kind of in the world as an adult, figuring things out, trying to talk to other people, and realizing that not everyone has the same idea of Christianity as I did in my small Minnesota private Christian college. Have
Very
you gotten
cool.
into debating religion on the panels?
Yeah, I've done one debate. I did a God of the Gaps debate on some. If you're part of the Raging Tomato community, or if you've
I know
seen me
Sarah.
there
Yeah.
or at Flow State, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, great people, right? If there's a religious topic, and there's no secular atheists on stage, I'm happy to be the one that jumps up. I know it's not
Mhm.
always a popular idea, but um, you know but yeah, I went to a fairly small middle school and Catholic high school for 4 years total between the two, so I've some Christian schooling experience, and you know yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. The Orthodox brothers, the Ortho Bros.
Yeah.
Have you run into those guys?
um yeah, I've been on Jim Bob's show before. He's
Love Jim
like
Bob.
he yeah, he's a funny guy. I think we would
Ortho
be friends
Thugs,
IRL.
hilarious.
Yeah, very
Good channel.
talented guys, really funny. I don't believe that, having an audience of 400 people who all have their own private and shared rules about what people are allowed to say, how they're allowed to be or think. That's my impression of the online communities that I've seen is, yeah, it's our way or the highway. And to me, it's like, well, yeah, I'm not going to run scared. I'm also just, I don't need that description. I'm just not going to be there. I'm just not going to be there. Turns out, folks.
Yeah, funny. So, like the politics and the religious debate aside, what other topics do you get
Hey,
into?
what's up, Connor? Just real quick shout outs. Connor, good to see you. Yeah, Raslin's right with the Moses beards. We've got two Moses beards on stage, folks. So show some respect. I wish I had a dono link. I would say, like Rogaine or beard oil or something like that, but we're not doing that right now. And Gary, Romans killed Jesus. Jesus is a Jew. You know what that means. I don't know that I actually do know what it means, but factually, yeah, that seems to be correct. Um, but yeah. So yeah, the ortho community is awesome though too.
Mhm.
um, like I think there's people that want to do great things and stuff like this. Um, I believe just maybe the sort of mix of the blood sport debate space and stuff like this. It's like sometimes a little too much for me. I don't. Do I need that? I don't know. You
I've
know.
heard rumors that people pay to not allow you on panels. Is that true?
Yeah. So one of the channels that I mod on, Breakfast Tacos channel, he just implemented like, I think it'll be a little funnier there, but yeah. That's how a lot of the panel verse works. If I don't
Yeah,
know if you guys know the panel verse in chat too,
I've been on a few
but
panels.
yeah, so you can do super chats and whatever it is. Yeah, like and so it's cool. Some people just want to share an idea for a couple minutes. You can be nice and small and stuff like that. And truthfully, it's like, yeah, I appreciate it. It's funny. It's a little too mean. I don't think it encourages people to think for themselves and get their idea all the way out there. And so
Right.
even when I'm sort of so just as I'm sort of putting together my channel, instead of like having to do what other people are doing, um, one of the things that I want to work on is attract people to like engage in good faith discussions, or whatever, just hang out. My rule so far is if you say three mean things, you have to say one nice thing. It's one in three. If that's not you, if you're a nice person, you can say the rule is two nice things out of three things. Two of the three things you say in chat has to be helpful, contributing to the conversation, something like that. And that's how we're going to build a channel, a community, a channel, whatever, you know.
I
So
like that. There's so many panels. There's 10 or 12 people, and they're all talking over each other, calling each other names, and the moderator's just like, it's out of control. I can't do anything. Then people get upset when you mute them. It's like, well, as a moderator with administrative control over the StreamYard or the live stream, it's like I have to mute everybody else so the one person speaking can be heard clearly.
yeah,
Have you done
yeah,
a lot of
not
moderating?
no, no, but I think working in the corporate environment
Mm-hmm.
um, has prepared me for that a little bit. I would even admit something a lot of the atheist space won't talk about is that, you know, I don't mind my Roman Catholic upbringing. Some people, you know, are very anti-religion. I
Mm-hmm.
would say being Roman Catholic taught me about human dignity, and so even when there are rules that have to be enforced, you know, you might understand that, like, yeah, you know, we can still treat each other with respect a little bit, but that also buys space for more actual disagreements and discussions when it's time for that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah, it's fun. It's cool for sure.
I guess I'm revealing a little bit of the identity a little bit too much. I forgot what shirt I was wearing.
I don't see what it says. It's backwards. Yeah, it's
It's mirrored.
backwards. I
Okay.
can't see.
All right.
Can't see it.
I'm the deliberating dog face dude that was in the chat.
Oh, cool, cool, cool.
We just ended our stream, our
Nice. How'd
Tuesday
that
night
go?
stream.
Tuesdays.
It's fun. It's difficult to get guests though.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people want to show up to a live stream.
Yeah, that's one of the things that, you know, there's a small number of the audience here that does social media or whatever. I said trust a cell phone, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
can go live and you can get someone, if you have something to say and people are interested, that's how YouTube set it up, right? That
Mm-hmm.
get your 50 subscribers, do a really really horrible first live stream, and slowly try and, you know, just talk to people about the stuff they're interested in, but then, you know, also have the focus of your own channel and stuff like that too, like bring that all into that, you know, this stuff's all designed for people who want to uh, really make progress and build something good, great, that they're happy, comfortable with, and all that stuff. Then
Do
it's
you
fun.
have topics that you want to discuss on your channel?
Well, we have. I'm gonna see how long it goes for. I have Trump book,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll see if people want to uh, dissect or deconstruct or understand Trump's arguments as a president and as how we kind of hear them politically.
Mm-hmm.
We do have Donald Trump book, but yeah, I have a degree in political science, so
Oh,
that's what I
okay.
did in college. And so I always want to bring in geopolitical relevance, some local and global context. Um, I do like talking about secular stuff like our subatomic universe and um, yeah, that kind of stuff is really what's most interesting to. Uh, so yeah, the hard part is the challenging part. I think is that, like, even I myself, I don't watch what people call white chair content, and I have a ton of respect for like guys like Don Lemon. I
Okay.
have a ton of respect um, for people that know how to read the news. They know how to do research. Even guys like Jake Tapper, who basically said, Jake Tapper said, you know what, screw you. I want to go be on the front line. I want to have the responsibility of reporting important stories when and where they happen. And eventually he totally dropped out of broadcasting.
Oh,
Um, yeah, yeah.
I
And
was maybe
so
thinking Jake Shields. He does debate stuff on, I think, Rumble. Do you know
yeah,
Jake
yeah, cool.
Shields?
Jake Shields. Um, I haven't. So whatever Jake Shields is. No, he's not on my list. I like following guys like John Kiriakou. Um, he's the former CIA whistleblower. Andrew
Oh,
Bustamante is another great dude.
okay.
Ted Rall is a journalist. He
I've heard
has a couple
Bustamante.
different
He's
live
got the big
shows.
hair. Bustamante, big hair.
Yeah, he does now. Yeah, he does now.
Okay,
And yeah,
interesting. I think he
yeah,
said that he has the big, ridiculous hair so that when he needs to go into hiding, he can just shave his head and change his appearance. they won't recognize him anymore.
Yeah. Who knows? He has, I think, both experience in the field as well as operating, behind a desk. So, um, having both views of the practical skills that people apply, and then the practical skills that happen in office, and allow it. I would imagine the CIA is like, it's not a corporate experience. I would imagine it's one of those intense experiences where you're sort of all in. You don't need to even consider what it's like to have a persona, have a personality, and then work outside or inside of it. It's Yeah. But yeah, what about you? Do you want to sort of tell us about what you do on your channel, kind of topics you cover?
Sure.
Um, yeah, what's in it for you and the audience?
So in producing Deliberating Dogface Dudes, I go out of my way to find topics that aren't really being discussed in the blood panel sports debate world. Try to find new ideas that haven't been debated to death. Try to move things forward to talk about adult conversation stuff that we need to talk about with nuance and understanding to figure things out. We started out as wanting to be a debate channel and found that the people we invited to debate with us accepted our invitations, and then that was it. They didn't show up.
Oh,
They
okay.
said we were too small of a
Yeah.
channel and we didn't matter, or they had bigger things to do. It's like,
Yeah,
well,
because in the blood sport universe,
mm,
in the blood sport universe, people don't do research on their topics. That's not what a blood sport debate is.
mhm,
I love I think like guys like Speakeasy. No, I love his show. And
yep,
yeah, sorry for just like industry talk or whatever. I
yep.
love
No, that's fine. I'm
Speakeasy.
aware.
Rob Noor is a ton of fun to talk to. Um, there's great people. Sarah's a great
I'd love to
host and
talk with
stuff like
Rob
this.
Noer.
And
I think if he'd join us on a Tuesday night, deliberating Dogface Dudes, we'd have him.
yeah, yeah. Have you spoken to him on the Discord before, or
No, see,
what's that
I
been
don't have
like?
Discord. I would debate you all
Or
day long to say Discord is the worst thing ever. I have an email address.
definitely,
Use my email address.
yeah. Oh, of course, yeah. And those sort of peaceful, inviting words
Hmm.
are usually what, to me, attracts people to want to use their prefrontal cortex,
Mm.
for inviting conversation, right? Instead of a non-inviting conversation,
Yeah, we want to have a
which
conversation
is
where
right.
we can talk about things and then have
You do.
disagreements and push back.
Yeah, you
Yes.
do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Because
So you want to introduce topics people don't talk about, and then you want people to fight about them. That's
not
what you do on your channel.
not fight about them, deliberate on personal experience and knowledge and explore those topics. I can disagree with you, you can disagree with me, and we can continue the conversation. I don't have to rage quit because I lost a debate. So we can do the deliberation to
Yeah,
find
but
out
rage
what our
rage
perspectives are.
quitting rage what so here, let me ask a challenging question a little
Mhm.
bit. So let's say I'm you and I are discussing, do I want to do these really violent debates? They're called blood sport.
Right.
Do I want to do these debates? And I challenge you and I say, to me, a rage quit doesn't have any relation to an outcome of the debate or discussion. A rage
Mhm.
quit isn't an outcome, it's a failure. And so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is the case. People want to see everyone getting up in arms. I don't care personally. Like whatever you want to go do,
Right.
go find a place that you enjoy that. But to me, a rage quit's not. You haven't earned an outcome. You earned a reaction.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess my perspective would be that the audience ends up choosing their favorite, and if the audience already doesn't like you, they will downvote you in
For
any
no
panel you're on.
reason. Yeah, for no reason, right? That's what you're
Yeah,
saying. If you
right.
don't like something, so I say, instead of having like a critique of an argument,
Hmm.
to me, like, I have Donald Trump book. It's called Great Again. And so instead of critiquing book, instead of me having a critique of this book,
Hmm.
um, understanding the geopolitical and national relevance, relative to Donald Trump's campaign character
Hmm.
and who he is as a politician. So instead of that, if I instead say, well, I want to complain about you, because
Hmm.
I don't, complain about you, I don't like you, I want to complain. that's different to have a complaint or a grievance against a person versus an idea or set of ideas. Is that right?
I think I'm following. Yeah.
Oh shoot. We got that darn kitty in chat. She is my favorite streamer from South Africa. She actually Marcus was just asking about moderating debates.
Mhm.
That darn kitty just made her moderation debut with one of my good friends, Wade, I believe. I still have to go back and watch that video, but
Mm.
shout out to Kitty in chat. And yeah,
That's interesting. I hadn't considered the fact that there are people outside of America that tune into anything we're doing.
no, yeah, and South Africa's interesting. They do have a lot of politics because they've been a modern state for a long time. They had
Hmm.
apartheid that where they very rapidly deconstructed a lot of racism, and so those politics are a little different, but they're still very a very they're very analogous, right? They're very analogous. Is to some of the things we see in the United States where people talk about, well, is there such a thing as white privilege? Is there such a thing as
Hmm.
systemic racism? Where do we draw the line between politics and personal belief, and between data and personal subjective evidence of something occurring?
Hmm. Do
Like
you get into the white
no
privilege topic much?
um No, I have a new friend online, Kel. We're going to be debating on Sarah's actually, I believe next Monday. It's not been announced yet, so it's not that big of a deal. So it's not like there's a
Hmm.
mystery behind it. But very loosely got into the topic of racism on
Hmm.
her show. She does YouTube, she does Twitch IRL, and so it's a very fast moving different style of conversation. But yeah, I would debate about racism at the right venue with the right people. Otherwise I would just bring it into my show. I would just do it here, if the time is right. I did talk about what it means to be anti-racism the other day. I ended
Oh.
up not publishing that video. But yeah, if you guys want to see a video about Donald Trump's policies and anti-racism, I might take a second stab at it. If you get kicked out, get back in there eventually. No big deal. But yeah, it's a way to balance all the stuff.
You said Trump's names a few times. Has anyone accused you of being a Biden voter? Like you voted for
Yeah,
Biden?
I did. I voted for Biden. I voted for Kamala. I don't know why that would be an
In,
accusing of
in the
something,
blood sports,
right?
if you're not supporting
No,
Trump's
that's not true
America,
though. That's not true.
what was your experience like then?
In the blood sport universe,
Well, just
yeah,
bring up the idea that Trump.
people want you, yeah, so people want you to rage quit and
Mhm.
stuff like that, but they don't make an argument about Donald Trump, right? It's different. Does that make sense? Again, because we talked
Mhm.
about the difference between, I've got a criticism or
Right.
critique or something like that.
So I guess the
um
argument would be you are not in support of Trump, therefore the opposite would be you are in support of
it
Biden,
pro-
and then that's a
no,
pejorative.
that's not how politics works, right? We have a two-party system.
Mhm.
Does that make sense first, that we have a two-party system, or
There's two
how do you
parties on
see
the
that?
ballot. I understand that. Yeah. Yeah. In
There's more than two parties, but it's a two-party system,
Are there
right?
more than two
So
parties? That would be a good debate
there
prompt.
are no, there are more than two parties on ballots, right? You
Uh,
can run as an independent. Isn't it Bernie Sanders has run as an independent?
right.
Um,
I'm from
so
Minnesota.
so
We elected Jesse Ventura, an independent governor.
okay, so we're two-party system,
Mhm.
but you don't have to be one of those two
At
parties.
a
Ralph
state
Nader,
level, right? So at a federal level for president, are there
anywhere
only
in the
two?
United States. In
Right.
the United States.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can get listed on the ballot, there's not a constitutional law you have to be Republican or Democrat to run for president. There's again, Ralph Nader is one example. So not a criticism of you,
Hmm.
but kind of a critique a little bit of the information is bad information.
Oh
Does
yeah,
that make sense?
I
Does it make
understand it's
sense?
terrible information.
Yeah,
It's the information that's
yeah.
available and repeated over and over again. Are you interested
repeated,
in?
right? So only
Yep.
so split also again, and sorry, but split that one in half as well because there's more information available,
Hmm.
right? You understand that, right?
Yeah. No, I as a producer for a show going through, I took television news classes. I've been through AP Newswires. I've seen what the terminal looks like to see what the available news stories are to cover, and then we
So
just
yeah,
copy
and
and paste them.
yeah, we have a different background, and I don't mean
Hmm.
to cut you off or talk
Oh,
over
that's
you, but
fine.
because I'm a political science major, I don't try to rush through topics and stuff, but yeah, like there isn't a constitutional law or rule about we're a two-party system.
Hmm.
It's sort of informal. There's a story about there's stories in history about a third party emerging.
Sure.
Elon Musk has announced a third party he wants to do.
That
So all kinds
America
of really,
Party.
yeah, the America Party.
Do you
It is
do
pretty
you have
funny,
hope
dude.
that he'll run, that he'll put a what do you call it, a platform together, and then run as a third party?
That's so we have a different, so not to be too grandiose, but we have a
I don't
different
know the
type of hope.
language. Yeah.
Yeah, we have, yeah, of course. So we have a different type of hope. It doesn't have to be like so I would say I would hope that Elon Musk reconsiders that, if you can run effectively as a third party, no one should encourage you not to do that. But if you're running to try and cause disruption, you're not actually trying to create more political stability or to create some form of progress or
Mhm.
understandability around conservative values, then that is why I wouldn't have hope for what Elon Musk then goes out and says. He says a lot of things. It's not great either.
He
You know,
does troll a lot on his X platform. He does say a lot of controversial, dumb stuff just to kind of see what he can get away with. Do you think he's pushing the
they're
Overton
horrible.
window?
What is the Overton window?
The acceptable window of discourse. So if he's pushing
Oh,
hard
see
in
a darn
different
kitty.
directions.
See a darn kitty. Yeah, I don't. So that's difficult for me, and this is maybe because of my political science education slash
Hmm.
indoctrination, if we
Hmm.
can. If we talk about an Overton window, the indoctrination that I have from political science is that there's no such thing as like acceptable discourse, right? You have these sort of theoretical problems with tolerance. And
Hmm.
then in reality, it's about looking at political activation. It's about looking at political organizations. And by and large, this has been outside of some of like the like Cambridge Analytica scandals and stuff like that. This is
Yep.
largely driven almost everything, dude. Almost everything is this. Yeah.
Did you go deep into the research of the Cambridge Analytica situation?
I did not. I didn't go
Okay.
that deep into it.
Okay.
Not that much, but it is what it is. So
Interesting.
hey, what's up, New Normal 42? Thanks. Good to see you again. And also, yeah, just real quick, hey, what's up, James? Well, of course, Trump's first attempt at presidency was the Reform Party of the 1990s. Yeah, Trump did a ton of TV tours around the time of The Art of the Deal.
Hmm.
He actually mentions The Art of the Deal in this book, the Great Again Trump book
Who's the
that he
author of that book?
released in 2016. It's Donald Trump, and it's a foreword by Donald Trump. People said it was a ghost written book today. I didn't know that,
Could be.
but
Could be.
it's all his policies and stuff. So I think it's pretty good faith and true towards what Donald Trump actually believes. Even if you don't think Donald Trump is a good faith or genuine person, if you're opposed to the Make America Great Again movement, if you're opposed to violent nationalism, as some people have described it, you can still read Donald Trump's words and say, well, what this book actually does is push out into that space of nationalism and big corporate umbrella support that some people are opposed to. Some people are opposed to that a little bit.
Yeah, I've been trying to build up a YouTube channel here, like you're doing, the Deliberating Dog Face Stooge channel. It's been difficult to get any real traction. Talking a little bit too controversial the topics. We try to get spicy and controversial to be entertaining to our listeners. I guess open question to you would be, how far is too far in free speech and
Mm. That's a good one. You know who I think does best in the panelverse? I think Jack Talcott is one that does it well, and obviously Powder Dusty is super excellent at all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and so
I've
yeah,
streamed with
my
Dusty.
oh, you have?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, yeah. Taylor's awesome. And also I would just say as well that you know, the other side of that as well is that um, if yeah, for people that are either streaming or looking for new Discord servers and stuff like that, even if you're a little introverted, I always say like just go out and let the algorithm help you find it, use a couple hashtags. And yeah, it sounds weird with millions of creators and websites, even schmucks like me, right? Your buddy duck is the absolute worst thing possible. You guys know
Hmm.
this. You guys know this better than anyone. But yeah, it can take some time to sort
Do
of
you
find
call
where you
yourself a
can.
schmuck, or are you
A
silencing
selfish
your?
schmuck is pretty accurate to me.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty
So
good. It's pretty good.
it's been
Hell
rough
yeah,
on Tuesday
Berserker Donkey.
nights.
We'll have to see you or Bob or Alicia or someone pop up sometime. Some of the mods in chat and whatever. Yeah, if you want to drop your YouTube channel link or something in chat, feel free. We got 10 people here. If anyone wants to check it out and
Well, yeah.
drop a
Let's
subscription, help the
say
cause. Hey, what up, Wills? Wills is absolutely right. The algorithm. The
dropped your bone in
algorithm
chat.
is algorithm 2025. Um, Yeah, there's a bone. You can probably search if anyone wants to find Marcus's channel,
Hmm.
Deliberating Dogface. They focus on issues that are sometimes not taken by the blood sport debate space, and they get into discussions, conversations, and disagreements um,
Hmm.
in an open panel format.
My
So
email's
yeah,
on my webpage, alanmarcus.com.
cool.
Been trying to do intentional networking one-on-one with other people that are streaming to collab and figure out, if we could guest on each other's shows to support each other. Kind of finding that we're not Christian enough for the Christians, we're not atheist enough for the atheists. We get into occult and magic and conspiracy stuff, but not accepting and believing all of it. We just try to find
Okay.
out what are the topics people are talking about. Let's look at them and try to untangle the web of deception and propaganda and what is just algorithm chasing using hashtags and
Yeah.
keywords, clout chasing, that sort of thing.
Yeah, we did. New normal is right. We do some clout chasing. We got up to the actual YouTube told me our maximum was like 426 that night.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, new normal's right. Sometimes the YouTube algorithm's really kind to folks. It doesn't really matter. I don't remember what we talked about on that stream, and so yeah, it's you got to be so moral and ethical, but at the same time, it's like a give and take.
Hmm.
Whatever. Bunch of bull crap.
I like
Bunch of
that you're
bull crap.
broadcasting, for cell phones in
Hell
this
yeah.
format. We've been doing wide screens like this. I don't think it's helped us at all. I think to stream, we probably should do the tall for cell phones.
Yeah. Yeah. I got this little Gorilla Pod for
Mm.
$3.49 at Goodwill. It's
Yeah.
got the yellow tag. And so yeah, and I don't know if you guys are into StreamYard OBS, but there's streaming has a lot
Use
of
StreamYard.
technologies.
Yep.
That's true everywhere. Yeah, definitely. I always talk about embracing technology and stuff like that too. It's a scary thing, right? It's a scary thing, but it's
I've
like,
been
where's
doing it
technology in my
for
life?
20 plus
It's everywhere,
years.
but
I've worked in radio stations,
it's
television stations. Not
cool
afraid of it.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
cool.
interesting the technology and having these
Yeah,
conversations on video chat. This was very expensive. 20 years ago to be able to broadcast this stuff, it cost
so expensive too.
thousands
Yeah,
of
it's
dollars to have
huge.
have the license to broadcast. Now
Of
anyone can
course,
go
yeah.
live from a cell phone. That is so cool.
Yeah, I would just yeah, and so having, the features and functionality on your stream can definitely provide a certain level of comfort that's not familiar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like if I just have my MacBook or something, my this is a Chromebook.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very small Chromebook. But if I have my Chromebook or my MacBook or whatever it is, and I'm, you know, it's also so difficult, so challenging. But yeah, that self belief that it's worth it to spend money on technology, or it's worth it to just use what you got and go.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, people are joining
stuff's
from their phones now, and it works, and the sound is pretty good. People put headphones on. The sound is corrected and canceled if it's going to echo. So
oh,
it's
definitely
sounding a
still
lot
the
better
same
now.
thing. Yeah, yeah.
Did you ever join Google Plus or Google Hangouts?
I haven't yet.
Like that? No, this
Uh,
is like 2008, 2009
yeah, I use
when
Meets, but
Google
I don't use any of the other ones.
Meet
Yeah,
is what Google Hangouts was before they rebranded it.
oh, cool,
So the
cool,
technology was less than what it is now. It's come a long way. So anyone can join a debate panel and hang out and speak their voice,
cool.
which is cool. So I'm interested in those voices that are not getting play on the blood sport debates, but
Yeah,
want to jump in and have conversations.
I agree.
Because you're paid,
There's
people pay the host of the channel to not let you speak. Why is that? How is that fair?
it's a good point.
It's not fair to you, not fair to me. I want to hear what you have to say. And then some other guy pays the moderator $50, $100 to not let you speak. I mean, is that another form of censorship?
Uh, yeah, and someone said yes to that idea. Someone said yes to it. So
To shut you up.
to shut you up one time, to shut you up once, or to shut you up repeatedly, all of it, all of it, and what a gift it would be. What a gift. Um,
It's ridiculous that adults are paying other adults to not hear another adult speak. That's what
it's
adults are doing in
crazy.
their free time. That's absurd to
It's
me.
crazy.
So I just
Yeah,
wanted to
it's
come in and
crazy
say
for
hi
sure.
and thank you for doing the debate panels. I haven't seen you on debate panels that I'm subscribed to all of them, and when they go live, I just see, well, who's on, and I haven't seen your face in a while, so I was wondering if you're doing well. How you doing, man? Doing your own
I'm
thing
doing
now?
good. Yes, we're all here, and so, yeah, I'm hoping to be able to keep supporting the Tomato channel,
Mhm.
keep supporting a lot of the folks that I learned from, I learned with, I laughed with.
Mhm.
All of those things are great, and yeah, but like someone said, if we do have the left and the right on the Epstein list, um, you know, that would mean if that was true in any possible world, we have serious problems in our country that we're not solving together, or that we're not global creating global and local context for all of these things. Vic, Vic's here. What's up? Yeah.
It's interesting. Everyone wants to talk about the list, the little black book. I'm like, well, not so interested in that. Everyone else is talking about that. What is not being addressed? What topics are not getting any airplay? And that's kind of where I find myself interested in.
Hmm. That's interesting. I did a video yesterday about whether or not it sort of indirectly tackles if like masculinity and red pill, does that actually
Oh,
exist? So that's what I'm going to be talking about a little bit on Monday
okay.
on Sarah Tomato's debate channel.
Okay. Do you
So
think
I
you're going
will
to
be
be
doing.
tired out on Monday? Do you think by
Yeah, yeah,
Tuesday you're going to be so exhausted that you don't want to talk into a computer anymore?
a full day off, right?
Okay.
And so, yeah, if you guys are here, I will be doing a PC live stream, a
Okay.
debate that is going to be restreamed from another channel. It should be a good show. It's going to be probably total like a 5 hour stream. I don't know if I'll be there all 5 hours, but I should be there at least 3 or 4 hours, about that.
They go long.
We'll be happy. Yeah, we'll
Yep.
be happy for sure. Of
I would
course.
extend an invite to you to join my channel on a Tuesday night. Not next Tuesday because you're doing the Monday thing, but maybe 2 or 3 Tuesdays from now.
Yeah, if you do Tuesday stuff, you can, if you got the link from a Discord, just DM it to me and I'll definitely subscribe and either hop on
You have
panel,
an email. I do email
or
better.
have fun and chat and stuff like
I
that
like the
too.
email.
It's kind of seeing what you're getting into.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Um,
would debate people all day long to say, instant message is not great. Discord is not great. Telegram is not great. Email. Email is great. I can run my own email server. I pay for my own email, and people are like, I'm afraid to use email. Well, I'm paying for an email server so people can contact me at my email address.
Yeah, I like that too.
I'm a bit of a nerd. Do you
Yeah.
get into like Linux and open source stuff?
No, I'm not that smart. I'm not
Okay.
that intelligent or whatever. I don't. Yeah, so my background is before I started streaming, I was working in the tech industry,
hmm
and so yeah, tech is fun. You're always searching for sort of the next thing that helps your team and works and stuff like this. There's a lot of important, small, minor technical details, but that like
Email,
so I did.
tried and
I've done
true.
yeah, the most I've done is like open source or like drag and drop database stuff.
Okay.
So like above average tech knowledge, not radical coder, not knowing Linux and stuff
Mhm.
I couldn't get into like I'm happy with USB microphones. I think, whatever, just plug it in and
Mhm.
that's happy.
It's
That's
gotten
good.
a lot better. The technology has gotten a lot better. The sound quality has gotten a lot better. I was just
Yeah,
looking to see if I could
definitely.
start fights with
Yeah.
people about operating systems or computer tech stuff. That's a
Yeah.
weird world. The GNU plus Linux people that are so interested in having everything open source that they don't use any proprietary
So
software.
yeah, so you've been do you use like open source platforms like OBS and stuff too, or you don't like all
Not
things
for
considered,
broadcasting.
do you use those too?
I'm on an Apple. I'm using Apple
That's crazy to
software.
me. That's crazy, I would
It
say.
works. It
Yeah.
works. It works.
Just Apple for everything. Yeah.
No. I use Linux. I use Windows. I use multiple flavors of Linux.
I
Multiple
wouldn't have
flavors of
guessed
Windows.
that. Yeah, for
I use
sure.
all of the platforms, but for broadcasting, I have an
Right.
Apple iMac here.
Yeah.
It works well for broadcasting.
Yeah, and so like, my criticism of Apple is just how expensive their ecosystem is. If I
Mm-hmm.
had a criticism for Apple, that is what that criticism is about, right? It's that, if you don't
Criticize the
have money,
slave
you
labor,
can't use Apple anymore. You
the
can't use
miners
Apple
in
at all.
Africa pulling lithium out of the
Yeah.
ground, the
Yeah,
slave
those
labor.
liberal capitalism questions,
Yep.
but no, like you can't actually use Apple like at all, right? At all. So if you don't have a lot of money, lots of
This,
money, and so that's my critique of
the
them.
technology was gifted to me. Otherwise, I tend to try to use. I try to
No, yeah,
restore
yeah,
old computers, so I
right,
don't have to
yeah,
buy
yeah.
new. I
So
try to use old, discarded computer stuff to repair and use on my own,
okay,
so I
yeah,
don't have
yeah,
to buy
and
brand new. But that's kind of
that's pretty cool,
that's an argument that people are just gonna say, no, I just want to buy a brand new computer. I'm like,
right?
well, no, now you're supporting a system that's charging you more and more because people pay
Yeah,
for it. It's like, what is the price of an iPhone now? It's like $2,000 for a computer in your pocket.
uh, yeah, yeah. Smartphones like the new Google Pixel phones and stuff, they're all very expensive.
Yep.
Um, I just got this is a decent device that I'd recommend for streaming is if you have to buy a cell phone, the Samsung A13, A12, A14, A15 has high quality front camera and microphone.
Mhm.
It's not that expensive. So my mic broke on my smartphone. Let's start a bit. If you guys, I'm gonna feel really bummed if the audience is starting a band and I'm not. That's crazy.
What band do you think they? What band are you accused of playing in?
I
I go
would
to a
be
lot of
like,
Christian concerts, and they often think that I'm in the band. I don't ever correct them.
yeah, yeah, never. So I would say like emo punk
Mhm.
acoustic, that kind of stuff is
Okay.
like what I'm into. I
Okay.
like I like like passionate music. I like
Sufjan
as a
Stevens.
uh that's a little too indie and esoteric for me to listen to. I like him, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
Um I grew up watching movies like Garden State, also like movies like The Matrix, and so
Mhm.
I feel like the sort of back end of that culture, the back end of that culture was it was stuff like Yellow Card or a little more underground, just like Seosin or Say Anything.
Oh,
Like
say
these types of bands are like you can try to avoid it, but there's nothing, like the passion, the power of this music. It's all encompassing.
hmm.
Does that make it? It doesn't
Yeah,
have to, but
I've
it
I've been
should.
in the hardcore scene. I did press kits for bands, a lot of like college bands, but then they get older, have family, grow up, and music takes the back seat for them. It's difficult making
Yeah,
it as a musician.
totally. Yeah, yeah. But that's very cool. That's very cool. I always wish I was a little more skilled in pro audio. I
Hmm.
hadn't. You probably know this device. I had a Scarlett Studio back in the day,
Oh,
from M Audio.
yep,
You
M
know,
audio.
yeah, I know people use them for streaming mics because they have XLR plus they have the
Yep.
1/8 inch jack for guitars. But yeah, that's it. That's like one of my goals. I've got a ton of like fundraising goals for the channel
Hmm.
for some time, but I want to buy I might just go buy a cheap ukulele off Craigslist or a guitar. I don't know if I'll actually play it on stream, but it can be like the Trump book. It can be something else to do or whatever whatever it's
A
supposed
lot
to
of it
be.
is improv. Getting in front of a microphone and just filling dead air is kind of a thing that
All the
terrifies a lot
time.
of people. And
Yeah.
I've been on both sides of the camera, mic, producer, director, all these things, and just making someone feel comfortable to be able to speak their mind, to be able to get the interview recorded is kind of a hard thing to do sometimes.
Overland Overlander BC wants to know if you play music or if you just know how like pro audio and that kind of stuff and
Yeah,
broadcasting
I was in
works.
broadcasting, so it's a lot of signal flow. Worked with a lot of musicians who were recording. So at that point, college students would go into the studio and they'd try to record their stuff on the equipment. Now they can kind of do it with their own laptop in their bedroom. When Pro Tools took over the industry and people were doing digital recordings, it kind of changed a lot. And that technology has gotten cheaper and cheaper. So it's democratized the ability to make music from home and then play different instruments and do the multi-tracking stuff.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
I don't myself play instruments. I don't play in bands, but I toured with a lot of bands and did their press kit stuff, photos and videos to try to promote them to sometimes record labels. Sometimes they were looking for record deals, so they'd have to have
Yeah.
videos of themselves.
I could imagine how like it's crazy. People see like labels that are now big, like Fueled by Ramen,
Yep.
which originally signed for millennials. Sorry, my Gen Z friends, but labels like Fueled by Ramen signed
Yeah.
Panic at the Disco, Fallout Boy, a lot of the big ones.
Yep.
And I would be hard for me to imagine that they had the ideal perfect recording setup or the
Yep.
ideal like contract, the sort of thing that happened at the beginning, right? Like so, you know, like it's a startup. You have to build everything from scratch.
Right. And now those people are adults 20, 25 years later. Some of them stuck with it and they continue to record, and others are still recording, but they might have a Bandcamp page and they are struggling
Yeah.
to promote their own music.
Yes. So, and all the time, um, yeah, yeah, it's cool. I don't know. I always find up and coming. I'd like to think that I know this is like for people that want to be famous or oh, you've got a fan. You've got a fan. Someone says they used to watch Marcus like 10 years back in the day. So this was a surprise to see him here. So I don't know if James is a big time fan, but
Yeah, it's
yeah, I'd like to think that if anyone can get a couple thousand subscribers on social media, they can build a small community of people that like what they do. If you want to be famous, or if you want to produce something that a lot of people see, or even if you just want a way to sustain yourself by making art
mhm,
or making something on the internet, that small community would be what a individual
mhm.
needs to go do that thing. Um,
Yeah, I was such a
So
fan of so many podcasters going back 2004, 5, 6. People
so
started
different.
podcasting, and I was like, I listen to all their
Yeah,
stuff. They don't continue their shows anymore, so now I'm like, there's this vacuum, there's this gap where people that were
that's
making the
weird.
content I was interested in haven't made any new content. They've all been chased
Yeah.
off the internet. All of the channels have been deleted. They said too many things that got them slapped on the wrist too many
That's
times,
like
and
and that's
now
like that's
they're
like YouTube.
unplatformed and non-person.
That's like
Unperson.
YouTube rage. That's like YouTube rage bait, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, when people, YouTube's really good about TOS, I think, and so
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. I don't know what this one, bros. The garden gnome Hank tried to get rid of says, Rigasud. That's a cool name. You got the cool formatting and all this. If I was a musician, I would allow podcasts to use samples of my music for their intro music for free. Yeah, that's a cool thing to do. That's a cool thing to not copyright stuff, but also, yeah, having free stuff. Yeah, use free
Mini
stuff for sure.
debate: copyright, good or bad? Copyright extended forever. Is it just to benefit Disney and not the individual?
Yeah, copyright laws I think are to protect either corporations or individuals that use stuff. But yeah, this is actual music, so it's the progressing notes. You can start at any hertz frequency and progress through this ratio. So one thing that I would say differently is that uh, notes always have sonic texture. There's almost never like a perfect staccato where you have notes actually lining up like you're describing. So that's like staccato. So there's always like an implied note. There's always like phantom notes. So
Mm-hmm.
if you hear like a whole new world, a something something point of view, and no one to tell us no or where to go or say we're only dreaming. Like, I'm obviously not that good of a singer, but that idea is that you get a richer texture in that type of music where you can imply a note. It's just the qualities of sound, and oh, it's so cool, but it's actually amazing. I'm always so impressed when musicians play really clean music. I can't do that. I can't do it at all, but it's crazy.
Are
It's
you singing in the Catholic choir in school?
no, I played guitar. I played guitar in our choir for like a month or two. I did a short set at one of our county fairs. Um
Talent show,
yeah,
open mic.
basically exactly. Yes. Yeah, there was a guy that was a good singer. I didn't sing at all in high school. I just played guitar. Um But what did we play? It must be a skin, cause I'm sinking in. It must be for real, cause now I can feel. Like we did something like that back then.
Mm-hmm.
Um but yeah, at church they actually used a lot of pretty complicated chords, a lot of
Yeah.
like sus 13s, like whatever, sus 9 7 13s. There were subtle key changes. So we had a choir with our choir director had formal musical training, which was dope as hell. It
Mm-hmm.
was absolutely cool. And so our church music at our Catholic church was fairly complex. It wasn't very traditional. They just kind of banged out a lot of the sort of creeds and stuff back in the day,
Is
which
Creed a
was
Christian
cool.
band?
I don't remember. I don't know. That's Scott Stapp, or what was that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He flirted with Christians a little bit. Evanescence kind of did the same thing.
Yeah.
They started in Christian churches and then went mainstream.
Yeah. That's very cool.
Under Oath did the same thing. They're huge now, Under Oath.
Under Oath is awesome. Can you feel your heartbeat racing? Can you
Mm-hmm.
taste the fear in her sweat? Yeah, it's crazy stuff. That old emo,
Mm-hmm.
screamo stuff was wild when it came out, bro. That stuff was
Emery, are you an
wild
Emery
as
fan?
hell.
Emery?
Emery?
Walls?
No, I don't. I don't know them.
Okay,
I don't know them.
okay. A lot of tooth and nail bands.
Oh, I don't know. Is that like? Is that like who sung "Taste of Ink"? That was The Used. Is that like Tooth and Nail?
No,
I don't know if that's.
Tooth and Nail's they're the record label out of, are they out of Seattle, Washington, out of somewhere up there. Brendan Ebels, the label owner. They had MXPX, OC Supertones, Project 86. Did they have Emery on their label? I listened to a lot of Tooth and Nail bands. You mentioned Fueled by Ramen. That was Haley. What's her band's name?
Not Eminem's daughter.
Misery,
Was it
Misery
Eminem's daughter,
Company?
or who was it?
It's like Misery
Yeah, who
Company
was it?
song. Haley.
Oh, Haley from Paramore.
Paramore.
Paramore is really good.
They started as a Christian
Ain't it
band
fun?
too, didn't they?
Ain't it fun, baby? Now you're one of us. You gotta rhyme with the outsides of your cheeks for any
Yep.
musicians who can read a full bar of music and put it all together. That's again, not that you have to, but like being able to stay with it, actually learn music, learn how you want to sing it, be performative. If you're not like that, so crazy to me. It's always like, you can hear my voice at this point is so tired, but like it's funny as hell.
I'd throw you a Ricola, but you're across the screen. Do you like the cherry flavor, the original flavor? I'm sponsored by Ricola.
I'd hope so. No, I'm good, dude. I'm good, my friend.
Just coat that throat with a lozenge. Long live streams.
Hell yeah.
I just went for 3 hours, so I'm kind of trying to wind down a little bit.
Yeah, what'd you guys do? What'd you guys talk about tonight?
A lot of smutty, disgusting, degenerate stuff, but it had to be said. We got in trouble for talking about, I won't say it on your stream, but medical terms that people get into, and we'll show the website and say these are terms and words that people are using to describe things, and isn't that interesting? And then YouTube will kick us off because we use medical information. So I won't say that on your stream, but trying to find where the lines are in terms of censorship and what is allowed to be said. We struggle with not having to use euphemisms, like unalive is one that people use a lot. Do you know the list of words that you can't say on YouTube?
No, I tried Googling the TOS the other day and I couldn't find it. But yeah, just those types of conversations around mental health. I'm eager to mental health, medical stuff. I'm eager to not position myself as an expert. I honestly, in my heart of hearts, when I step into my own sort of, for my own space and stuff like that, I don't know my opinion about all medical issues. You guys can tell me I'm too cuck-pilled or blue-pilled or whatever if you guys want. Feel free to be a little mean if you guys want to. You don't have to, but yeah, that's just how I feel about it. Is like, if I know 10 people are watching now and one person is like, what the actual hell is this guy saying? And they say it because they're angry or they're sad or they're upset. It's like, well, I could have personally handled that better then. So, I'll say grape. Essay. I know for something like sexual assault.
Sure.
If that stuff comes up in a conversation when it comes up, but
some of the blood sports, they don't handle that so gracefully, and they want the shock value. It's kind of difficult to have adult conversations about serious topics and then balance that with levity and humor and make it fun.
That's partially because you guys do what the blood sports space does really well is they create these really close connections with their audience. They and so when you have that sort of meaning or purpose or intent, then and what's up? We just got Chill Scotty on stream. When you have that purpose, meaning, or intent, it's difficult because if you're being authentic and honest and consistent in one way and not another, I could understand how some people would see that as problematic. What up, Scotty?
How's it going?
Good, dude. How are you?
I don't know if I got any cool effects.
No, doing good. I just heard somebody singing like a whole new world. That was pretty cool.
Are you going to join in the karaoke? Are we all doing voice effects now? Get that reverb going. Are you a beatboxer? Producer?
No, I have a soundboard. I haven't been able to use it lately, but yeah, I just got it. Yeah. I
Nice.
got my own channel and all this
Play
stuff,
some sick
and
beats
I love
down.
joining the panels. But yeah, how's it going, guys?
Duck's gonna freestyle some Aladdin.
Yeah. A whole new world. No, no. We'll have to get a little more hype for that, but
What'd you
yeah, it's
think of
good, man.
Pocahontas? Did you like that Pocahontas movie?
I didn't see the
No,
new one.
well, how old are you guys? Like me personally, I'm 43, so I was born 81. So I know like those late 80s, 90s, like
Yeah.
Disney movies and shit.
Born
I'm
86.
35, 86. Yeah, you guys are both older than me. I'm 35 at this
Okay.
point.
Yeah, you probably still know the same movies: Aladdin, Little Mermaid,
Yep.
those,
Little Mermaid
all
89. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Beauty and the
Yeah,
Beast.
yeah, Beauty and the Beast was a good one. I liked
Oh yeah, it was.
because my so yeah, my family and we loved the Harry Potter movies, and so it was really cool to
Oh.
see the girl that played Hermione. The girl that played Hermione was in that. Was in the new Beauty and the Beast. So I was like, that's pretty cool.
I try
That's
not to
awesome.
talk about Harry Potter. I think it's just a controversial topic, and I don't know why. People always have an opinion about the author, and they say things mean about her, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know her. Never met her.
No, but I thought your whole this whole thing was debate everything. But yeah, I'm not a Harry Potter fan myself. But yeah, I can't debate that because I'm not really a fan of that.
Oh, G-Rot just chimed in. You guys want to get into some debates and fights? You guys want to get into some kind of fun stuff?
I can do a topic before I'm completely out of steam for the night.
Okay,
Cool.
you guys get into politics. Maybe we disagree on politics. If you want debates, I can do it. I can debate. Yeah.
Let's do it. Scotty, are you a Trump fan?
I am a libertarian. I've never voted for him, but I have to say I like the recent things he's done, and I do believe that Biden was the worst president in my lifetime. So I mean, if you disagree with that, then we can debate.
Marcus, where are you at on that issue?
Oh, I can speak freely, and you're not gonna hate me or kick me off the panel or anything. I'm in a safe space. I can share my opinion.
TOS. No
So
TOS.
I've said
Fairly
this
safe
before.
space, yeah.
My point of view is, I think an issue with democracy is women are allowed to vote, and I think landowners, the vote should only go to landowners because they are invested in the community. They own the land. They have businesses in the community. I think the problem with gerrymandering and changing the boundaries and inviting more people to vote.
I think you're Stephen Colbert, like from like the Daily Show in like the early 2000s, like somebody who's pretending he's like some like hardcore like conservative, but he's really like a hardcore liberal. You believe in socialism, don't you, my friend?
I guess I've seen it work. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's worked in USSR, it's worked in Cuba, it's worked in Venezuela, it's worked in China. Yes, it certainly has worked, my friend. Yep. Socialism,
So that's the one thing. That's
That's
the one
the-
thing is if just to clarify real quick, it's very brave to say that women shouldn't vote and only the landed aristocracy should be should the landed class should be voting.
Right.
So do you believe this is like this is like a policy that we're able to talk about,
Sure.
and we're able to talk about people in the real world a little bit about who are some of the people that like Rand Paul is really popular amongst libertarians. He's been a strong libertarian for a long time. He's called himself a constitutional conservative.
Right.
He has one of the worst voting records for Trump in the Republican Party.
70%.
And so 70%.
Sure. So I think that men have a huge responsibility as leaders in the community. The landed the aristocracy wouldn't be an issue under my platform because more men would be given land to live on. So you turn 18, you turn 21, you'd be in good standing with the community, and then you'd be given a parcel of land to build a home on, homestead, farm, whatever you needed to do. And then at that point, having the land, having the ownership of the community, then you'd be allowed to participate in the democratic process, being a landowner.
Okay, nobody should be given anything. Everybody should earn it, man or woman. You know, everybody should earn it. Fuck, the government shouldn't just dole it out. You know, the government's always screwed people over. Weren't they in charge? Didn't they have slavery? I mean, you can't trust the government. That's why the whole shit about the libertarian movement is. You know, Rand Paul. Thank you for bringing up my friend below there. You know, like Ron Paul, the older people. I mean, that was his father, and then like people started to really get into that about like real freedom. We don't we don't want the government to tell us what to do. We got to do shit for ourselves.
I agree with you there. I would say that's why the states need to move to separate themselves from the federal government, return states' rights, and from there further dismantle government structures until they're reduced to a sheriff at a local level to build it back up from there. So then landowners in the community would have say in the democratic process happening at the local level.
Yeah, but didn't you just say something about like doling out land and like women not getting land or something? Because like again, like a man or woman getting land, I think like if they earn it, they earn it. So that's your last statement kind of confused me a little bit, my friend.
Yeah, can you turn? Sure. Do you have a reverb? It's not that big of a deal, but do you have a reverb setting on your mic or anything? It's a little echoey. It's not. It sounds
okay. Yeah, I can hear it less now. Yeah,
Scotty's got one on.
It's
no, it should be gone now.
There he is. I like that.
There we go. There we go, baby. Let's go.
That's the voice.
We're a little good here.
Kind of new with this thing right here.
Sure.
So I disagree. So I would argue that I disagree with Scotty on the grounds that I think libertarianism is a niche political belief, and I believe that there's a reason we have equal rights in our country, and why we also have sort of an identity, an American identity that's against some of this stuff. But you know, we could argue about some of this stuff.
Right. I'm just back to local politics, local level, that sort of thing.
A little bit easy on those, bro. We don't got a mod tonight, so guys, if you guys can auto mod yourself a little bit, I appreciate all y'all. We don't need to be white powering though. We don't need any of that stuff. No offense. Let someone up here a burst or something if we're gonna say that.
Fair.
And if you guys want, just before we get into the discussion, if you guys want to tap like on the video or subscribe, I appreciate it. If you're on your smartphone, you can just press the button at the top. And yeah, we do this kind of stuff. And thank you to folks on. But that's it. That's all Duck had for right now.
I would say that I think the American people have lost hope. They've lost confidence in a federal government, a state level government, and that the federal government's overreach, you know, under every president, including the last president that we had, who was on the other side of the aisle. So the policies carried on. Trump made some promises. He said a lot of things, and then he dropped bombs on countries, threatened tariffs, and just made a mess and a laughingstock of America. Very embarrassed by that as an American. Scotty, are you proud to be an American under this president? Are you muted?
Oh, the monster voice broke. That's the actual way that libertarians and white national patriarchs sound. It broke the soundboard, I think.
Yep. Can you hear me now?
That sounds amazing. Oh my god.
Yes, I am proud to be an American. I can tell you several reasons why. First off, like that Keystone Pipeline that Biden took out on his first day of job was us getting oil from our friends, Canada, and then that made us more independent, dependent on oil from the Middle East, which we were.
So the reason Biden was the best president, I think, the best is he allowed Americans to work. He allowed them to work freely. So I don't know what you would say back to that.
What do you mean by work freely?
Yeah, so you know, there's all kinds of Americans build computers, they play music in bands, They sell creative work. If they're not doing creative stuff, you can start like a small business or something is also sort of related back to that. And so by work freely, I mean Americans can utilize their talents in the way that best serves them, which is something I do appreciate is quite a bit.
How did he somehow implement that? Because I remember like the Ministry of Information, disinformation or whatever it was. Because here's the thing, when Biden started Twitter, it was like 80% left and 20% right. And a recent CNN poll put it after Elon bought it, and just a few months ago, it was 49% like conservative and 48% liberal. That's more balanced than it's ever fucking been. And during the Biden administration, they're fucking like censoring that shit. And I know people that are very progressive, very far on the left. And what I told them at the time, when like Biden administration was like telling Twitter what to do and Facebook what to do and shit, I was like, how would you feel when the Republicans will be in power? Because they will be in power again. So do you feel so good about this idea about the government controlling and censoring shit?
Yeah, I do.
If it was the other side doing it, I mean, that was the biggest shit, and that's why, that's one of the reasons why I talk about, because, again, like, at the time, it was like, oh, the Biden administration, like, saying, oh yeah, we'll tell social media what is misinformation and which is not. And I'm like, okay, but,
how do you feel about Truth Social?
And they're going to be in charge of what's misinformation or not. So I'm saying, like, neither side should get that.
Yeah, but if you're going to talk all I want to say is that if you're going to talk about, okay, so you're going to talk about misinformation. The way I understand this is that misinformation isn't about what Biden does only, it's about propaganda. And so if I say that, well, look, I have evidence right here that Donald Trump himself published a book. He told people, read this book. He told people that more or less, you need to know what it means to make America great again. You need to know what I mean to make America great again. That's propaganda. That's the
whole reason.
It's propaganda.
That's why the whole government should not have any say on what is misinformation from X or Facebook. Because when Biden's doing it, he's going to be saying, like, this is misinformation. And when Trump's doing it, he's going to say, this is what's misinformation. That's why the government should never say what misinformation is. And again, it was during that Biden administration when they had that misinformation board, but they did get rid of it after like a few months because a lot of people, independents, not just like the MAGA people and all that stuff, independents are saying the same shit. Like, the government shouldn't censor what Twitter, Facebook,
I want to hear what Marcus has to say on this too.
Yeah, I think the problem is the federal government overreach under Trump. People are using that word, calling him fascist and all these things, and I just think that's the institution of the president. That's the White House.
Was it wrong for the Biden administration to say that to come up with a misinformation board?
My belief is that the White House, the federal government, the office of the presidency is as a position appointed through bloodline aristocracy. That was the complaint against my idea that people who live and own land are allowed to vote. You say, well, those are just the rich people that are going to continue to vote and vote in their best interest. Well, that's what we currently have through politicians.
That may be true. No, that may be true, but that has nothing to do with like the misinformation board. Like the misinformation board from Twitter, right? If it was Trump that came up with, again, it doesn't matter if it's Trump or Biden that came up with that shit. That shit is bullshit. The government shouldn't tell Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram
that's what we were speaking
what is
about
misinformation or not. And when it happened, it was during the Biden administration. And like I told all my progressive friends at the time, I said, hey, this misinformation board is fucking 1984 shit. I'm telling you this, like,
I have
politics in America, it goes left, it goes right, it goes left, it goes right. So, right now you're cool with it because the left is in charge.
I followed content creators.
That's why they should never be in charge of that shit. There should never be a misinformation board.
I followed content creators from every political perspective, and I've watched all of them be deleted. Their YouTube channels are gone. Their online presence is completely wiped clean because they shared an opinion that was counter to left or right, Republican or Democrat. They weren't in the safe area of you get two choices, Coca-Cola or Pepsi. It's the same flavor of soda, and that's where I'm critiquing the federal government, especially the office of the president. I don't think any of us are proud of the president that we have and his work in creating confusion and destruction. And if you're saying it's propaganda, I agree it's propaganda.
We're talking about freedom of speech. All that shit you're talking about happened during the Biden administration. So again, don't blame that on Trump.
Right.
And the thing
so
is,
freedom of speech to me,
it shouldn't be a political thing. It did happen during Biden.
Right.
But my warning was to all my progressive friends.
It should not be politicized, and yet it is politicized. It's weaponized and politicized at the same time.
Right. No, this happened a lot during the Biden administration. I told my progressive friends, I'm like, eventually
you've seen it. You've
power.
Seen it during the Biden administration.
Yes.
I've seen it during the Clinton administration.
Yes.
I've seen it during the Bush era.
It should not be good in any administration.
Right.
Can I just jump in? I just want to say something.
Go ahead.
Society hasn't changed that much, though, right? I don't mean to use the mod power to move myself to the top, but you can talk about Clinton, but if I'm in the center, if I'm center left, and I'm listening to both of you, it's like, well, people still wake up, they still go to work, we still have the same problems that we have in the United States. So
I would disagree with you there.
How is it my job to blame President Clinton? Always creating blame for people for stuff that doesn't
problems. I would argue that the problems are worse, that there's more fentanyl in the streets, there's more poverty, disparity amongst everybody. The system put in place, if it's the federal government put in place to provide social services and a social safety net, that has absolutely failed people. Young families need homes. They're not getting homes. They're told to rent a home, but they'll never own a home. That's frustrating.
Okay, well, that's fair enough.
I say they need to be given land at a local level. The local county level can make land grants available to people who are in good standing with the community, without a criminal record, this type of thing. The community can set their standards for who will receive a partial piece of land to build a house on, to have a garden in the backyard, and then they can vote because they own the land. I don't like seeing foreign interest playing into our politics and then getting blamed for misinformation, voter fraud. So it has to return. We have to return trust to the democratic process at a local level, which in my mind says we need to go back to land-owning men voting, and then from there, communities can decide who else could be included in votes and referendums. But in general, the men are the leaders of the community, and women are greatly dissatisfied that men are not leading them. So they are not finding satisfaction in their relationships. So we have young men who are struggling because they're raised by single moms. If mothers needed to have a woman, if they needed to have a man to be a homeowner, so then they'd have to work out their differences. Boys would grow up with fathers in the home. Not just white people, black people, Asian people, all people would have a father in the home, father, mother in the home. You own the home, you have the land. They would know how to distribute resources amongst themselves to make sure everyone is fed and clothed.
Okay, but give this a second. So what about actual equity, right? Isn't it clear, or it'll become clear? It's obvious that that if you have a mother and father, that's good because they generally support their family and household towards some understandable goal that people understand it. People always understand it. And what's not crazy about that is that, well, if the fundamental American value is just pushing towards stuff, it's just getting that stuff out there, isn't it also the case that, well, I don't actually have to care that deeply right now about like saying, well, patriarchy, rah, 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 mother, father. I don't want to accept any of that stuff. I don't want to talk about it at all. Like, how do you respond to me if I'm so?
Yeah,
For
answer the
example,
question.
how do
Yeah, I'd love
how,
to hear your
yeah
answer to that.
how
I
would
asked
either
you,
of you
Duck.
guys?
Duck, how is baby made? How is baby formed?
By sex?
Yeah,
With
I
a
mean,
man and a
over
woman
years
creating
of
a baby.
education, socialization, all of these things.
No, how is a baby brought into the world?
No, because that's not the. So give me a better lead-in, because if I'm talking about American identity, I don't need to
I
know
would
how a child
say
is
if
conceived
the government
to know
is
that.
the big brother and the big sister, and the government uses IVF to create human life, and then the government signs the birth
Yeah.
certificate to say I'm the parent, is that the future that we're looking forward towards?
Well, so you have to make your point. If you're
What's your
saying that
position?
IVF, yeah, if IVF is somehow going to
These
change, because how do you
technologies
become a
continue to
libertarian?
exist to incentivize natural birth between mother and father, nuclear family.
And incentivize?
Yeah,
I
they're gonna
wouldn't
pay you
agree
for
that
that?
that's
What is
actually an
this?
For the
incentive.
government
My
to
opinion.
continue to exist, it requires the vote and the consent of the people. I see a greater number of people not voting at all. So if I'm hearing statistics from CNN saying, well, the voter turnout was 48, 49, and 3% third party, we're not including the people that have stopped voting entirely.
Well, question, like, you haven't said how or why. You just said, you haven't really given any, like, direct,
How or
point
why
of view.
specifically
So
on what?
question. So I'll ask you a question. So, I think you understand what the libertarian point of view is. What's wrong with the libertarian point of view? Which is, socially, liberal and economically conservative. What is wrong with that, and what do you think should be changed in our government based on that? Because I don't think you've said anything that was like specific.
I agree with you about the government overreach being a huge issue. So my idea is to engage with people who have lost confidence and trust in the government, and a lot of that has to do with not owning land.
Communism.
I'm not saying communism. I'm saying working towards purchasing land that is owned by the counties. The counties own plenty of land that they build parks in, and they have land that they don't use. So unused land that is owned by county private individuals could also sell parts of their land. There's plenty of farmland that does not need to grow corn and soybeans. Part of that farm field could be used to put a home and a property on. The family that wishes to become landowners and homeowners would then be allowed to apply to live into those homes. They would have to figure out how to pay for the land. I'm not stating free land for everybody who can have a child.
Okay, I get what you're saying. So we're talking about farm owners, they own like a bunch of land. Some of the land they're not using, but they're somehow forced to sell it, and the government had to decide who to get it and all this other stuff. If they wanted to sell it, they could sell it. What is the problem with that? What is the mechanism for what you're asking for? Because it does seem a lot like a communism to me.
What is the mechanism? I would say the failure of the political system to satisfy the needs of its citizens.
No, but how would you implement this?
So here's the truth.
Okay, I'm a farmer. I have like 1,000 acres of land, right? I'm not using like 100 acres of it. You're talking about forcing me as the farmer to give that 100 acres to somebody else.
Not forcing anyone. There would be incentives for the program. So those people who own a lot of land outside of BlackRock and private equity firms, the land usage laws would change to say, for equity investors who purchase land and sit on it and sell it for value, the land would then have to go down in value to say, you know what? We need to give the land to people who can use it. There are so many towns that were built up in 1850s to 1900. 1950s was booming, Now, 75 years later, those towns are ghost towns because everyone's moved to cities. There are incentivized programs to send people back out to these established local municipalities that need young families to move in there.
Yeah, but just real quick question:
Mhm.
why is it the case? Why is it the case that as as a voter, I have to decide things on the level of a family, if I would rather understand things on the level of something like, say, economic rights
Sure.
or like a social safety net?
Correct. So the social safety net benefits single mothers, right? Single men don't receive the same amount of benefits.
I mean, I understand the
You
point
still didn't answer the
you're
question. Yeah, I know, but you
yeah,
still didn't
yeah.
answer the question. I'm a farmer. I'm not using 500 acres of land.
Mhm.
So you're saying the government should take it and distribute it to the person they think is best used for it? How does
Counties.
this
I'm
work?
talking
How,
county
how does
county
your ideal society
municipalities.
work? Your egalitarian
County
society work?
municipalities. My question to you is, how are we feeding and clothing homeless men today? Men without jobs, men without the ability to work a job, men who are addicted to drugs and alcohol, sex and prostitution and other things. They cannot function. They cannot work a job. They cannot contribute to a tax burden. How are we feeding and housing and taking care of those people?
Well, okay. Well, I mean, like the most liberal cities, Seattle, LA, San Diego, they have the biggest homeless problems.
Yep.
They put a lot of money into like addiction programs and they make it voluntary. Nobody joins those programs. People just choose to live on the streets. It doesn't help the homeless problem.
So that answers your
like,
question to me. That answers your question to me. You asked me, how would people give up land to give it to new homeowners? The answer is what you just said. There are people who will not go with that program. There's people that are going to die in a ditch alone.
Well, the thing is, my point is that like the most liberal cities have the biggest homeless problems because giving homeless people stuff doesn't work.
They're not given. They're not given a gift. They're given an opportunity to apply towards home ownership with responsibility back to the community.
Portland, Seattle, Portland, San Francisco,
okay, so you're not
San Diego.
You're talking about metropolitan areas. I'm talking about repopulating small rural communities where there's land and farm available. These people can live off the land. They can farm. They can harvest. They can work a real job.
Sure they can. Again, they get, dude, in Portland, Seattle, Washington, LA, San Diego, there's a lot of opportunities for people.
If people want to live in cities,
a lot of people have these opportunities that are homeless.
If people want to live in cities and work in Amazon warehouses, that's their opportunity. If there's people that want to raise families with clean water, sunshine, and fresh air in small communities that they're building up, that is a life goal to say, hey, I'm taking this small ghost town in a rural area and somewhere in Wyoming, Montana, who knows where. We're building this up. We have pride in the community. It's never worked. It's how America was built. That's how America was built.
By homeless people, no, it was not.
People that came over in a boat didn't move over to a new world where they had homes waiting for them. They went and manifest destiny into the middle of America and built homesteads.
Answer this question. Homeless people get the biggest opportunities in Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, LA, San Diego.
What are the opportunities?
And the homeless crisis has increased in those areas. They do not take advantage of these opportunities. But you somehow think in some in your like whacked out world, like if we
the opportunities with string attached, are the opportunities coming from the government?
The places where the homeless people given the biggest opportunities have the biggest homeless problems. So
are these private religious charities?
They're going to start working on farms. They're going to be hard workers on farms. No, they don't even want to go to shelters, dude. Like they're like, oh, I'm just gonna sit on the street doing fentanyl.
So then they don't apply to the program. They don't participate in the program. Genetically, they're dead ends. For
they're not
people
genetically
who
dead
for
ends.
people who want to live an American dream, to own a land, own a home, have a garage, have a car, these are the people that can apply for the program.
Yeah, but again, all these
College
programs.
graduates, give them land,
No,
give
this
them
is
a
not.
home.
We don't live in communist Russia, man. We don't live in China. We don't live in Venezuela.
giving them the land with a contract to say there are stipulations. I'm not saying free handouts.
Dude, most homeless people won't even go to the shelter. How are they going to start?
Are you a homeless person?
And shit, dude?
Are you a homeless person?
Look around. No, obviously not.
I mean, I see you're in a home. I'm not going to ask proof of ownership. You're in a home. You're speaking for homeless people. What is your interest in homeless people?
No, we're both talking about homeless people, and I'm just saying that the places where they have the
I'm
most
talking about
opportunity have the
people
biggest
who
homeless
are
problem.
college graduates who are living with mommy and daddy and grandma and grandpa in their homes.
No,
Because
they were given
they were given the opportunity to call them baby boomers after World War II. The economy provided lots of jobs and money, and those people were given fair access to homes and properties, and now they're selling those for 3, 4, 5 times the value that they bought them in 60s, 70s, 80s. I'm talking about college graduates today who need a home to live in and are not given the opportunity to own a home. They're paying money towards investment, equity, retail people and renting them.
Let's talk about family talking. High school.
I'm trying to hear what you're sounding more and more drunk and slurred with your voice effect on.
Okay, no, I'm just saying like high school graduates, CEOs in Compton.
Mm-hmm.
Why should she works hard but she don't have enough money to go to college or anything like that? Why should homeless people get any opportunity above all the hard-working people out there that do not have a good job? You're going to dole out land to people that do nothing instead of people that work hard to get nothing?
So here's the aspect.
From Watts, from Compton and all that?
There was a statement made that times aren't really that different. People aren't really that different. Well, I disagree with that. We have technology. We have the internet. We have AI. We have automation. We have all these things that have taken jobs away from people. Secretaries don't exist anymore. People in elevators, operating an elevator to go up and down a high-rise building, that position doesn't exist anymore. All of the easy jobs that women would have been replaced. So women went into the workforce. They tried it. They don't have, those jobs don't exist anymore. Typists, transcriptionists, those jobs they don't exist anymore. They're useless jobs. People don't want to do them. They don't need to do them. So what I'm saying is women are happier in their home that they own, that they can paint, they can garden, they own the space, they can decorate it however they want because they own it. When they lease or rent a land, they can't have pets. They don't have a farm. They don't have a garden. They don't own the land, so they can't own it. So to participate in a participatory
but they do. In Arizona, it's not true.
Okay. So here's a good question for you, because you're talking about homeless people, right? Let's say
you're talking about homeless people. I'm talking about people who want a home, living with parents and grandparents.
You can just have land or
whatever. You're a hardworking family. Maybe you're unemployed for a year or so.
It never goes down in value.
We're living in a post-employment economy. We live in an information economy. It's post-employment economy. Our manufacturing has been shipped out of the country. NAFTA was a disaster. People are upset that Detroit Motor City doesn't produce vehicles anymore. And then they're taking vehicles away. In 2020, they said people stayed home and the air was clean and pollution was reduced and everyone was happy because they stayed at home and could live out of their home.
Okay, well, no, here's the thing. There's a lot of hard-working people that don't have jobs. If we're going to give away jobs, at very least give it to them first. Not the homeless people that a lot of times don't even take advantage of the programs. So, I mean, you saying giving farms to homeless people? No. Let's say there's somebody who...
Maintaining a homestead in a rural...
unemployed and has like 5 kids.
Maintaining a homestead in a rural area is a full-time job.
Yeah,
it's called
guys, let's
get
a little closer to I'm starting to agree with Bandito. Let's get a little closer to sort of landing the plane. I think people would like to hear why land is significant or how it relates to other sort of stuff that you guys see as important. Like, where does, at the end of the day, where does all this stuff like ultimately land come from? Um, you know, is there like an actual tangible takeaway that people like me or people like whoever's in the audience or whatever, your guys' kinds of people, what should they say and think about arguments about land and about family and politics?
Well, I can compromise a little bit. If government has some land that they can dole out, I would dole it out to like the families that are struggling from like the inner cities and all this people that have had jobs and are unemployed and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
I would dole that land out to them. People that are homeless have had all these opportunities, especially in the big cities.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
if we're gonna dole out money, let's give it to the hardworking people from the inner cities like Harlem and Compton and Palmdale and all the other places. Let's give them the money. Let's give them farm to work on. Don't give it to people that just don't work. And again, there's different situations. I know some people could be homeless for different reasons. Some of them they're just mentally ill and all this other stuff. And we could help them out in different ways.
But people that are homeless because they're mentally ill might not want to hear like an excuse, right? They might not want to hear that because we care so much about property.
They still
can't
can't
have
work on farms.
Sure. I'm talking about a new generation of Americans, babies who are born to a loving mother and father on a land where they own that, and now that generational land is passed down. I've seen so many people I've had aunts and uncles who haven't had children. They've gone to convalescent homes and Elam homes at the end of their life, and then the medical establishment has taken all their money. They've sold all their property, all their vehicles, all their wealth, all of their belongings have been sold off at auction to pay for medical bills at end of life, and then nobody gets the land.
No, true. But what you're putting out there is that the government should dole out land to everybody. Basically.
No, I'm so you've made some assumptions about me. I am part Native American.
My point is that the government shouldn't.
Have you lived on tribal land? Have you lived on tribal land? Do you understand how the federal government does not own all of the land within the border that we call the United States of America and further into Canada? There's tribal land. There's reservations.
Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying reservations, indigenous people.
Yes, they have their reservations.
They live in teepees. I don't know if that's
it's been an issue for hundreds. It has been an issue for hundreds of years. I just want to jump in and say that the reason real quick in the U.S. the reason my senator told me that I'm going to put myself up top real quick.
Sure.
My senator emailed me yesterday, and he told me the reason he wanted to save public broadcasting was because there are indigenous communities in Arizona, across the United States, that depend on public broadcasting
as a form
for
of propaganda.
Values and reasons that no one else
talked about
appreciates.
Propaganda, NPR, public radio stations. Those are propagandic wings. We have Starlink internet. Everybody has access to internet. The most rural areas everywhere on the globe are covered with internet. I can start my own radio broadcast station from my bedroom and stream to rural areas.
But you can't. You can't. Look at who gets through. At the end of the day, it's guys like Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's people like Jordan Peterson. It's these PhDs.
People are tired of Joe Rogan. They're tired of Piers Morgan. They're tired of CNN. They're tired of 24-hour cable network news. They're tired of the propaganda. They're tired of the lies. They're tired of what happened through 2020. That was a tire.
Yeah, but
upsetting.
Look, here's the thing.
Rural people absolutely did not need to shut down.
Can you, Scotty? Can you turn on a different voice mod or something if we're gonna do PBS? No.
Let's go to NPR. We need gentle radio voices.
I'll try a little bit. Can you hear me better here? I'll try this one. How about this one?
It sounds basically the exact same as it did before.
I'll try to turn down the mic volume. Is it better now? I'm turning down the mic volume, I think. Is this better?
There's less reverb.
I mean,
I can hear you.
It sort of sounds like I'm not sure, but it's
sort of. I can read lips.
Yeah, it sort of.
He's got beautiful lips.
It sort of sounds
like.
I'll
try to sound lower. So no.
But yeah, if you have a version of your soundboard that doesn't use or have the voice mod, it's not a big deal. But there's people in the audience I'm sure want to hear like a libertarian talk about some of these ideas that they got and stuff. So
I'm fed up with the
yeah.
system. It's failed me. I don't have trust and confidence in the federal government or the state government. And I know there's a lot of people living rurally who feel the same way. I pointed to 2020 to say a lot of these rural communities didn't shut down. They continued working and going to school and going to church as they always had.
You don't have to, and I have to agree with what he just said right there. No, but I'll tell you this, why, okay, NPR and PBS, they're obviously on one side of the issue. The taxpayer money is coming from everybody. So if half the people don't want to put federal money into that, why should we?
I don't think that's how the money system works.
No. Well, I mean, if you just the way it's distributed,
I point to 2020 and saying that there were checks written by the government to give to people so that they didn't have to work.
I was asking Marcus Allen, but I'm just saying, why should the taxpayers pay money for NPR or PBS if half
the taxpayers
want to pay for that?
That's not. I don't think that's how taxes are distributed. I don't understand how taxes work. I think the tax code is ludicrous. It's purposely conflated and convoluted, and that needs to be dismantled.
Okay,
and build back up at a
yeah,
local
but so I have a response. I have a short response to this too. Real quick, Scotty, I got to respond to this too because flat taxes have been a discussion for nearly 20 years, longer than that even. Ron Paul, Rand Paul, there's a long list of people. Donald Trump has brought up flat taxes. The reason they don't work is because they're not good for the United States. They're not good for a country as large as ours, as diverse, and as wealthy as ours. They shift the focus away from things that matter to our national platform, both domestically and abroad. So I couldn't accept, if
there
I'm
are people
a voter,
that don't pay taxes
I
at all.
couldn't accept.
No.
You have $1 extra. You have $1 extra in your pocket because you're successful. Why is that actually better for me and my family? If we already agreed that we take money out of our paycheck, so people.
I live in a rural area. I trade.
Is that not
I trade
an
and
okay
barter.
opinion
I
to
got
have?
a neighbor who raises chickens. He gives me eggs. I give him rabbits and carrots and vegetables.
No, I agree completely.
There's no money transaction. It's a gift economy.
Flat taxes would be wrong. And the current system, right? People that are lower class pay very little taxes. Medium class people, like most of us, pay the large majority.
I guess my final statement on it is that I hear a lot about the homeless people in metropolitan areas, big cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Chicago, New York City, this type of thing. Those are open air prisons. The surveillance state is disgusting. People are living one on top of each other. Homeless people in the city, huge problem. I don't participate in that system. I'm not expected to vote and have any say on how the New York Metro Transit works or who builds what bridges and what roads are closed. That's not my concern. I live in a rural area. I live on my own land. I grow my own food. I trade and barter with my neighbors. We build the economy in the community we want.
You don't deal like everybody else in the urban area where they're around causing trouble everywhere they're at.
I live in a place that's considered flyover. People go to airports so they don't have to drive past the cornfields that I live in. We don't broadcast on the internet how we live.
That's pretty cool.
That's the solution. More people are welcome to participate in that.
So I'm just curious, where does this come from though? If I grow up and I raise my family in a similar way to the way that I grow up, and I talk about school, I talk about churches being totally separate from government, I talk about the roads being nice, I talk about seeing people eventually get a leg up. I want to be a part of it. I want to see it faster. I talk and think about public transportation. I talk and think about our ability to move around the country. I think about people that I know that have worked, right? I've got cops in my family. I've got teachers in my family. I've got a ton of people, homicide detectives, specialist teachers that work on specialized education plans. people that coach sports. These are all things that I think a flat tax.
For those who want the flat tax
Isn't
and
the most
those
important.
social
So-
services, it'll work
So
for them.
where does my brain? Who wants the flat tax?
I'm
my
talking
brain,
about building
how
a
does my brain
parallel
change?
economy
I can't
where
understand
people
it, though.
choose. Because it's all you've known. It's all you've known. Nature, nurture. You built into a system where the United States government is the religion of the state, and people worship the flag, and they worship Trump, and they worship the president, or they hate the president. But either way, they're participating in that system. That system is no longer working. I don't think it's worked in my entire life. I've realized it's been a failure my entire life.
But
what has worked is people building a parallel economy through trading and gifting, living off of the land. They don't pay taxes. They don't go to public school. They don't get injections into their children. They have natural births. They live on the land, and they're happier than ever, healthier than ever. They don't have same problems of modern people in cities.
But I'm not saying that I need a subtle shift to see things this way. I'm saying it would need to be a paradigm, a worldview shift for me to say the stress of the modern world that's alleviated by a fair tax system is somehow going to cosmically
I don't know about taxes. I live outside the tax
change
system.
my mind about things.
I live outside the tax system.
How do you live outside of it? Just wondering.
Native
good for you.
American indigenous lands.
Good for you, but we're talking
there are other ways to do it.
We are talking on a device that was designed at the place that people in my family work and live every day, right? Like when people talk about cutting university funding or about being hateful or not really thinking about competition in terms of technology. I know it's weird, but or not thinking about scientific research, health research. These are things that affect people to me directly that are very easy for me to connect to global problems and broader U.S. problems that I really care about. It's huge to me.
Okay,
I'm trying to tell you that I'm trying to tell you I can't get out of this box I'm in. I can't get out of it.
I talk to Mennonites.
I'm a voter. I have a right to be this way.
I talk to Amish. I talk to Native American indigenous people. They all live outside of the federal government. They live outside of their local governments.
Here's one point I'm going to ask you about. I know people that are in tribal, that are a part of Indian tribes, right?
Sure.
The federal government pays for their college tuition. It's 100% free. It is 100% free if you are part of a tribe.
For people who participate in that system, there are strings attached.
No. They're just that are part of a Native American tribe. The federal government pays for their college tuition for free. And I've known people from that, and look it up. It is 100% true. I'm not making this fact up, dude. That is how it works.
I'm aware of that.
Part of a Native American tribe. Our government is giving them paying for those for people that were Native Americans, my friend. So again, like this whole going out stuff, like really, I mean, that was like one of your biggest points. But the thing is, Native Americans, they're part of a tribe. They get paid for.
Remind me, what was my biggest point?
I do not object to that in any way. I think that is 100% cool. You know.
What was my biggest point? I didn't hear what you said.
My point is that I think it's okay that the government pays for federal funding for college students for anybody who's in a tribe.
Okay, I disagree with you. I don't think it is okay for the government to pay. I think that's a huge overreach, and it's the nanny state that's taken over. They've taken over people's lives, and people have lost their own sense of self-direction and the ability to live for the pursuit of happiness, love, liberty, pursuit of happiness, whatever, government documents you want to read, founding fathers, that sort of thing. People are that works for some people. It's not working for the majority of people.
Wait. You're okay with the government doling out like land to like homeless people? But when I told you a factual statement,
I'm talking private owners who don't have. There are people who don't have heirs, who have trusts in land and property that they've just inherited, and now they're dying off because people don't want to live in rural areas. They don't want to live in Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, rural areas. They don't want to live in Iowa. They don't want to live in Cornfieldville.
Again, we don't live in USSR, dude. The government shouldn't take that away. You know?
The government
And
is the government of Russia, China, Singapore, Japan, any country is going to grow outside of its allowed space. And as people are not
you're talking
pushing
about
back,
socialism and communism, basically.
I'm saying none of those systems are going to fit me as a human man. I'm a human man. Those systems are outside of me. I don't need to participate in them, and I don't, and I'm living and breathing and happier than ever. The restrictions placed on people who are forced to live in the 15-minute smart cities of super surveillance with their banking not given to them because of a social credit score. I don't care if that's China, Russia, America, Elon Musk, X, PayPal, the X Everything app. That's what they're pushing towards, total control. So to push back against totalitarian control, the people who live on homesteads outside of government reach are left alone. They're a different sample. They're a different sample group.
You're asking for more government control because the government will decide who to dole the land out to.
The government won't have anything to do. The people will self-organize as a local community. What is a township? What is a municipality?
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, it's still the government that doles that out. That's giving power to the man. We shouldn't be doing that.
We're giving power to land-owning individuals who are men, who have wives and children, and they want to leave a better future for them. Renting a home and then leaving medical debt to families and heirs in the estate and the trust is not helping America out at all.
Well, I mean, that's their own problem. Like if you own 1,000 acres, you give it to your son, you're saying like, oh, the government should just take those 1,000 acres from your son.
When I go to ask a woman to marry me and her father's not able to give me goats and sheep and lambs and land.
We don't live in the Middle East, my friend. We don't have dowries over here in America, my friend.
That's very xenophobic of you.
You can go to Vegas with your girlfriend right now and get married if you had
I could choose to do a shotgun wedding. That could be my choice.
No, shotgun wedding, that's like an old school term, dude. Nowadays, you like a girl, you go to Las Vegas, you get a marriage license, you get married. There's no shotgun weddings.
A marriage license is a government contract, and I don't participate in government activities.
Yeah, but you think the government should go out land to certain types of people?
That's not what I said.
Yes, you did. You said like they should give it to like certain type of people if other people don't use it. Like, if they're not using it, give it to somebody else. Who decides that? It has to be the government.
Land usage laws already exist. I'm not talking state level or federal level. I'm talking local municipalities and counties. Who is your local sheriff?
Okay, so the local sheriff will decide who gets the land.
The local sheriff is already in place with the infrastructure to assist in the transition.
Oh, yeah, these local mayors have never taken advantage of their, like, small towns. Come on. You know, you gotta take care of your own business, my friend. That's why the government should have as least control as ever. You're like, oh, these mayors
we are in agreement, friend.
Are gonna be all fair.
We are in agreement.
Out the land to, like, good people.
We are in agreement.
Well, no, but you said dole out land. Nobody, like, here's the thing. You said, like, rich people, like, their kids get the land. Yes, they do get the land.
Can I ask a question?
Who's going to decide to give it away?
Can I ask a question? So what if? So are you guys still disagreeing? If I think
we're in agreement now.
I'm the center left, like super. Okay, pretend I'm a robot. I'm common sense guy. I don't have an ability to really think about things, and I still say that, well, hey, freedom for me is still being able to choose a public school. Freedom for me is still knowing what my taxes will be next year. I don't care about that much else.
That's freedom for you. That's slavery for me. I chose a different method, and people are welcome to make a choice. What we're in agreement here, Scotty, is to say that if the government forces a one-size-fits solution on everybody, that leads to the male loneliness epidemic, and they turn to drugs and alcohol and sex and prostitution instead of marrying women, starting families, living off the land, and having the enthusiasm to wake up every day to say, hey, I know what I'm doing because I'm a steward of the land. Being a land manager in a rural area is a full-time job.
Well, no, the government should have no control of that, and like if you get
And the
married,
government won't have any control because they don't go out there.
No, you getting married is your own problem, man. You know, it has nothing to do with the government, or your land has nothing to do with the government. If you earn the money and you buy the land, that's your land. What's wrong with that? How are you going to do it out differently? How's the government going to do better than? I mean, you work hard and you earn some land, dude. Like, how's it going to be any? How's the government going to dole that out?
What happens when someone doesn't pay property tax?
No, but okay, no, but
what happens in the current system when someone doesn't pay property tax?
Yeah, but there's lots of laws. How is it relevant what laws the government chooses to enforce or not? From my opinion, also not enforce. Like if we have laws on the books about property tax, yeah, the government has to enforce those.
In
me
the
being
current
the
system,
but me
people
wait,
lose
wait,
land,
I'm not done. Me being the GPT robot. Being the center progressive GPT robot who can't make up his own decisions.
Sure.
I also believe it's also my opinion that that like immigration laws were being enforced, right? So that those two things, like that's where my head's at. If there's a property tax, pay your property tax. If there's immigration laws, yeah, Obama and Biden did the right thing by enforcing those laws.
Land would come from.
And that's it. Period.
So if all the land
on the map
is already accounted
was
for,
from Biden, by the way, though.
So I'm trying to answer the question. Yeah, I'm trying to answer the final question so we can land the plane. The question is, where does land come from? The land already exists. It's not utilized, underutilized, or it's just sat on in rural areas.
How does the government decide to dole it out, though? That's my question.
There are homes that exist that have been foreclosed on because people haven't been able to pay for them. So the bank kicks the family out of the home, and then the home is destroyed. So it sits there unutilized. It's the same thing with cars. There are so many cars on lots sitting there, and people can't afford and are not given loan options and financing to get the car that they need. So as a need arises, qualified individuals would apply towards car ownership so that they could.
This is communism.
This is not communism. This is something completely. This is something completely out of your political books. It's not communism, not socialism. It's not democracy.
This is sort of. This is a little informal, but like let's. We've been going 2 hours and 11 minutes, so just out of respect for our audience,
sure.
We've kind of talked about ideas of freedom. We've talked about like how different things organize people and stuff. I don't know if you guys each want to take a quick go at a closing statement or something like that. I'll just sort of isolate the stage and stuff.
We can move on. There's no need for that. Yeah, he's a comment.
Wait 1 second. Wait 1 second. Dude, wait 1 second. Wait a second. There you go. There you go, Scotty.
He's a communist. He just wants to dole out land. Like, who decides how you dole out the land? The government, right? So that's why we got to get the government out of any decisions, right? So we can't dole out land. We can't have the government be part of decisions. You know, we have to work for stuff, deal with yourself. I asked for many things. It's like, oh yeah, some people can't afford this, some people can't afford that. You still don't have a criteria to dole it out. What's the criteria? The government. Who are they going to dole out to? Their friends, you know, people that support them. That's who's going to dole it out. So the government shouldn't dole out anything. You know, you got to earn what you work for. Is my closing statement. And thank you.
Cool. Thank you. I will bring up Marcus. Scotty, thanks again. Huge thanks for being here. I'm gonna just for the sake of the Bloodsport universe, boot you out of the studio. I appreciate you, dog. If you've got a channel or anything, if you want to drop the link, feel free. I'll post it so it's an actual link. And yeah, cool. And then
also thank you.
And then we've got Marcus. I know Marcus does have a channel, so let me throw Marcus up on stage as well.
Yeah, so alanmarcus.com. It's the website. I host a lot Deliberating Dogface Dudes. I know it's mirrored. I've hosted a lot of other shows. This is the one that's been most exciting and gratifying to me personally for intellectual curiosity, where we cover just the strangest ideas and figure out that why are men and women so unhappy? They're so unfulfilled. I've not mentioned communism or socialism or any sort of isms or any sort of economic systems that currently are on the books that people learn about in colleges. I point towards Mennonites, Amish communities, indigenous people, tribal land, this type of thing, where they have existed longer than the federal government. They were here before the federal government moved in. Look at land treaties, land back stuff, water rights usage, this type of thing, and figure out where is the government overreaching and what can we do about it. Not everyone is wanting to participate in that system. For those who want to stay in an urban environment, in a smart city with the fastest internet speeds and office buildings to work in, electronic bikes and walkable, arable communities, beautiful. You can continue to do that. I see that becoming more and more suffocating as the tenement buildings in New York rise higher and higher, and people aren't afforded to live in them, so they're forced to live on the street. I don't know the solution to that other than giving people land in rural areas, spread people out far and wide, and let people have that hope that they can build a home on a homestead, leave a legacy to their children and grandchildren, and not have banks and bill collectors and loan sharks take everything to pay for medical operations because it sucks them dry, and then the wealth goes back to the top of the pyramid. That was the concern people raised against my idea to say, well, doesn't that benefit the rich? Well, the rich have already won. They've already won the game of Monopoly. I'm talking about figuring out how do we, as individuals, give back agency to men to lead women into a marriage, to have children with them, to leave a legacy and have grandchildren, and build their own estate. I think that's worth living for.
Cool. Very awesome. Cool. We'll see you around. I'm going to boot you from the studio.
Kick me out.
Thank you again. Cool. Let me, I'm going to hop back on stage for just a minute here. Thank you, everybody. Big, if you guys want to see my big ugly mug, there's the close-up, folks, in 720p web Chromebook glory. Yeah. So that was a really interesting conversation. I don't know that I would have like authority to totally summarize it. I think it's so difficult when someone is saying, like, change your ideology, change how you live. And not only that, but we have to fight each other. We're going to fight each other in order to accomplish that. To me, that's a no-fly zone, right? I'd never claim myself to be Maverick from Top Gun. I'm not that cool. I'm not that cool, right? Who are the cool people? It's you guys. You guys in the audience, you're the cool ones. It's always going to be that way. No offense. And yeah. But yeah, if someone came to you and said too much, you're awesome, this is why I want you to believe this, or said, I'm opposing you and I'm going to use violent rhetoric and that's how we're going to get this done, I would personally always be opposed to that. The sense of gratuity or grandiosity, right? The way in which we show people thanks for just existing, or the grandiosity, the fact that we have to make these grand gestures in order to do that, is absurd to me. So I think both of our guests tonight, super grateful, unplanned that it was an open panel. They just hopped up. They did an awesome job. I would invite you guys, if you guys want to do that as well. Maybe we can to like Toshi. Maybe in the future we can do more Epstein Trump debates if you guys want to have some fun with stuff like that. If you guys come a little bit 10% prepared, we'd love to have you up here. And yeah, libertarian opinion. You missed some of the libertarian sort of some of those discussions and debates. I myself am a little more center progressive. I will drop this link one more time in chat. And yeah, I'm not trying to rush you guys off to something else. I don't have a raid or anything like that, but yeah, thanks for being here. And I'm just going to abruptly end the show. And yeah, like and subscribe if you want to catch more streams. We do this, we do mobile streams. I've got a couple new videos on my own YouTube page. And so yeah, that's it. That's the stream, baby. A whole new world, a whole new something point of view.